Welcome back to our Afternoon Express Masterclass. Now, Chef Dion, as the Olympic chef, we've been focusing on curries and masalas. We're about to make a fan favorite. So what are our key masala flavors and spices?
Okay, for the Durban curry, we're definitely going to need the leaf masala over there and the mother-in-law.
Oh. Okay, so that's all the way over here.
That's some gunpowder.
Here we go.
Thank you.
Now we've been bringing the heat from our kitchen and into your homes with tasty and very hearty recipes. And the next one definitely does the same. We're making a South African favorite. And whether it's in a roti or a bani chow, a Durban chicken curry just never disappoints, Dumi.
It never disappoints, Balisa. It all starts with a beautifully cooked chicken. And to start it off here, I'm going to start by adding the oil into Chef's pot because he needs to brown the chicken. The one thing I love about Excella oil, Balisa, we've mentioned this a couple of times, that if you're going to be making a dish where you need to cook something at a high temperature, it has to have a high smoking point, which Excella sunflower oil definitely is. It has a high smoking point, and it is also clear and light, Balisa, meaning it's not going to give your food or whatever it is you're cooking any unnecessary flavor. It's just going to taste like whatever it is that you're making. But obviously, to go into this curry...
And I'm pretty sure that's why chef is like, add more, add more. We saw that, chef. Don't think we didn't see that. We saw that. So add a very generous dollop, a healthy serving of that Excella oil.
Definitely, Balisa. So it's going to cook down and get beautiful, but into that curry that chef is making, we need some tomatoes and some green beans. And Balisa, you're going to make the potatoes, because we did touch on this, that a curry definitely needs some potatoes. But I want to show you guys a trick on how to get the skins off, because for this particular recipe, we want the skin of the tomato off, right, chef?
Yeah.
So to show you that trick, all you need to do is you score your tomato at the very bottom. And by scoring, I mean you just create this little cross at the bottom of your tomato. And then you pour hot water over your tomatoes. What this does is it helps the skin release from the tomato itself, making it easier for you to peel your tomato. So I'm going to let these babies sit for a bit and then carry on with chopping up our green beans.
Now, tell me, why is it important to be able to peel open those tomatoes beautifully? Why is that necessary for this curry? Why can't we just add our peels?
You can. You definitely can. This is just an option, you know. That's the one thing we love, because one thing about fruits and vegetables is that the nutrients can either be on the skin or in the flesh itself. So we're trying to promote as much as possible for you to eat all of the vegetable. But in this instance, we wanted to break down. And if you've noticed, whenever you cook with tomatoes, if the skin is still on, you'll definitely see that the skin was on in that recipe. Correct.
So essentially, it is to make that traditional, authentic, flavorful favorite Durban chicken curry. We just have to keep the skins off of our tomatoes so that the tomato completely disintegrates into that curry.
Yes, and you don't have to throw away those skins. Like we're saying, Pallas, as much as we're talking flavor, don't get rid of those skins. You can use them for a tomato jam. You can use them for composting as well. You can literally do whatever you'd like with it.
Kind of dry them out and make like a tomato seasoning with it.
There we go. Tomato-flavored salt, if you'd like. That's exactly what you could do.
Nothing goes to waste. I love that. On my side, it's super simple, super easy. Just chopping up the potatoes. Dumi and Chef Dion spoke quite lengthily as to why izambane, why is it so important within a curry. For me, it's just all about thickening it up, making sure that the curry goes a long way. You know, someone like me who's got a whole lot of brothers at home, they love themselves some chicken curry, honey. So I'm making sure that, you know, everything does not go to waste, and also that we just get more bites out of it. We're adding those potatoes. So I'm just going to dice them.
For the potatoes as well is you need it, once you cut them, like we normally cut them like really big so to be coated.
Yeah.
And then you poke like sort of holes with a paring knife in them. So when they cook, it soaks up all of that curry gravy, and then it's like, they call it like gravy soakers.
Ooh,
It's like those fluffery potatoes.
And that's another thing I think I've noticed why you guys like to add potatoes, because if you add too much salt, the potatoes will just...
Yeah, it soaks it up.
Suck it all up, soak it all up, and make sure that your flavor is balanced. I'm not saying overly season you. We've spoken about this. Some people that add salt, some people add salt without even tasting the food. I would suggest taste the food, and then if you need to, you can add more salt. But the potatoes can help in reducing the salt flavor.
Beautiful. And Chef, you're quite well on your way when it comes to this curry, and it is all about the curry. So what have you put into the pot so far?
So I've just sort of like given the chicken a bit of color. We've sweated our onions off and then added a bit of the garam masala, ground cumin, ground coriander, and the turmeric, and then some of the whole spices as well. Just going to cook it off and then add the gunpowder and the leaf masala as well.
Beautiful.
Give the tomatoes and the green beans in time.
Now, when it comes to what we are pairing our beautiful Durban chicken curry with, we've decided to go with our Excella rice. Now, what I love about Excella rice is that it's so nutritious and a little bit goes a long way. 1 cup of raw Excella rice, as soon as it's cooked all the way through, it becomes this light, beautiful, fluffy 2 cups worth of rice, making sure that it's always light, fluffy, and white every single time.
And you know, in the Indian homes, when you cook rice, it's like you got like this little bit of curry on your plate and the rest of the plate
Even in
is
our
rice.
households. So rice is essentially also important.
Yeah, I mean, the curry is just a gravy to dip with the rice.
Okay, Tumi.
I'm busy on my tomatoes, Palesa. But the one thing I also just have to say that if at all you want to have a curry like this as well and you want to perhaps get the skin in, the other trick would be to blend your tomatoes, right, Chef? Put it in a blender, blend it up, and that also helps with making sure that the tomato skins are broken down to the very, very smallest pieces as possible.
Okay, brilliant. Here are my potatoes. So I've decided not to chop up my potatoes too small because I do want it to have it bite-sized, but also I don't want to overwhelm my curry. So I just went for like these little cubes. But also, Chef, as you said, if I had a fork, I'd be able, or a skewer, I'd be able just to poke some holes to ensure that the that flavour of the curry permeates all the way through izambane lakho. And Chef, that's essentially it. What stock did you decide to go for?
We just used a bit of chicken stock in there to sort of like enhance the chicken flavour. But you don't have to. You normally add water to your curries.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Now, if you want to stay winning, then head over to afternoonexpress.co.za for the full ingredients list and recipe for this mouth-watering dish.